You? What could you offer? Hector lazily raised his eyes, seemingly uninterested in what I had to say. I wasn't bothered by this. In the eyes of aristocrats like them, people of lower status like us were merely tools for reproduction. Whether I married Oliver or Hector, I didn't want to live under someone else's control anymore. Ignoring his contempt, I extended my hand, pointing from his head downward until I reached the middle of his pants. I'm offering a deal involving this part of you. Those around wanted to laugh but dared not make a sound. Hector finally dropped his arrogant, unruly demeanor. His face darkened as he ordered everyone out. As soon as the door closed, he extinguished the cigarette in his hand. Moving close to me, he roughly grabbed my chin. Yvonne, you should assess your own abilities and status before speaking. I had to tilt my head back, almost touching his nose. I can cure your erectile dysfunction. Hearing this, Hector's eyes instantly darkened, and his hand violently gripped my throat. I could see the thought in his eyes. Rather than risk uncertain, unrealistic possibilities, better to silence you forever with this secret. As the pressure on my neck suddenly increased, I clutched at his hand, struggling to squeeze out a few broken words. 3 days. Just 3 days. And you'll see. Results. Cough. If it doesn't work, you can. Deal with me then. Hector finally released his grip. In that brief minute, I thought I was going to die right there. I dared to speak up because I was absolutely confident. In my previous life, Oliver was even more difficult to handle than Hector. The only reason I stayed with him for so long was because I had value to him. I majored in medicine. This background served me well in my previous life. According to my parents' wishes, I needed to be mindful of Jocelyn's feelings and couldn't outshine her in any aspect. No one knew how skilled I really was. People only knew that I spent an entire year treating Oliver's leg, which eventually helped him recover. However, no one knew that Oliver also suffered from erectile dysfunction. I treated him for over a month before his wife successfully conceived a child. Thinking about this, I took several deep breaths, then grabbed Hector's wrist to check his pulse. Fortunately, his condition was similar to Oliver's, not difficult to treat. How did you know I had this condition? Confusion flashed in Hector's eyes as he grabbed my hand. I smiled and made up a lie. Before marrying you, I had to learn something about my future husband, didn't I? In truth, Hector's erectile dysfunction was common knowledge in my previous life. Back then, Jocelyn tried everything but could never arouse Hector's interest. She drugged him and called a private doctor to examine him. The results revealed Hector's erectile dysfunction. When Hector woke up, he flew into a rage. He suppressed all information about it and sent Jocelyn to a mental institution. Hearing my words, Hector's pupils slightly contracted as he thought to himself, after knowing all this, you still didn't choose my older brother. Hector was more reasonable than I expected. I prescribed some medicine. If the medicine worked, the price was that he would accompany me to visit my parents 3 days later. On the day of the traditional post-wedding visit, I waited for Hector outside, but he never showed up. After pondering for a moment, I got into the car alone and headed home. As soon as I walked in, Jocelyn pointed at the room full of gifts and said sweetly, Dad, Oliver and I picked this coffee for you, and this imperial green crystal is for Mom. My parents were delighted by Jocelyn's attention, their lips constantly upturned as they repeatedly said, good, good, good. Seeing me arrive empty-handed, Jocelyn said sharply, Yvonne, your husband let you come alone? I smiled gently and replied, your husband didn't accompany you either. Jocelyn pouted and showed off the large diamond ring on her finger. You know nothing about this, silly. Oliver is the CEO of Hunter Group, of course he's busy. Your husband? He just has shares but no real power. Through Jocelyn's raised hand, I caught a glimpse of purple bruises peeking out from her sleeve. Oliver was the type who maintained perfect appearances. In my previous life, he was physically disabled with a gloomy, unpredictable personality. Every night, he would beat me violently with various objects. I endured his treatment for a long time, until his leg condition improved and he no longer tormented me. Seeing how happy Jocelyn appeared now, I didn't want to burst her bubble. I walked past her toward the bathroom. Jocelyn, seeing that I continued to ignore her, hurriedly followed me. Yvonne, your husband didn't prepare any gifts for the visit, did he? Seeing that I maintained my indifferent attitude, her expression darkened. She threw the red wine in her hand at me, but she lost her balance in her high heels and fell heavily to the ground. Jocelyn cried out in pain, which brought my parents running. She immediately played the victim, trying as always to shift blame to me when she did something wrong. Dad, Yvonne tried to hurt me. She said she wanted me to damage my body so I could never bear the Hunter family's first grandson. Mom, she's trying to harm me. Wah! I was about to defend myself. After hearing just a few sentences from Jocelyn, my father glared at me angrily and raised his hand to slap me. Not only did you come without your husband, but you didn't even bring gifts. And now you're jealous of Jocelyn. What kind of thoughts are you harboring? In the next moment, someone stepped in front of me. Who says I didn't come?